welcome back to the Final Shot Podcast. Today the podcast is brought to you by Onnit. If you guys go over to www.onnit.com, go to the Onnit Academy and check out the Onnit 6. The Onnit 6 is a shitload of at-home workouts that you can do at your home in a half an hour, and it'll help you get shredded. Also go and check out what they have for supplements. If you like earth-grown nutrients, anything natural, stuff that can help your brain function, help you sleep, protein, elk bars, coffee, whatever you want, onnit.com. Get some Alpha Brain, get some New Mood. New Mood I take before bed, helps me pass out, which I like. I wake up in a better mood in the morning, usually jump on my wife after that if I'm in a real good mood. But guys, if you're not on it, get on it at onnit.com. On checkout, use promo code TFS Podcast and you will save 10%. We're also brought to you by Smile Canada, the shake and spray. Not fucking around. CBD shake and spray. THC shake and spray. All different flavors. We got lemon, lime, orange. What the fuck is this one? This one's looks like winter. Probably some kind of a mint flavor. I haven't tried this one yet. We got the winter, and then we've got everybody's favorite, cinnamon hearts. Smile spray, guys. Smile V Liquid Canada. Go check them out. They've also got vaporizer liquid, which can be used as a tincture too, so you can just eat it. Put it in your coffee, put it in your shakes, do whatever you want. Go check out Smile Canada. We're also brought to you by the Tough Canuck Beard Company. If you got a beard and you want to keep that fucker healthy, go over to the Tough Canuck Beard Company, make a purchase. They're the best products on the planet. You get the beard oil, you get the beard balm. I think that's what this is, beard balm, yeah. It's the only shit I put in my beard. Last but not least, well, sorry, this isn't even the last one. We got two more after this one. I forgot. But Buds and Leaves. Go check out Buds and Leaves on the Instagrams. You go to budsandleaves.com. Get yourself a Buddha stick. Get yourself some CBD capsules. Guys, this is the second CBD, THC, marijuana sponsor that we have on the show. I'm a big advocate for CBD. I also think THC has its place too in the medical world. So go check out Buds and Leaves and make a purchase. We're also brought to you by Dakota Fight Gear. I would feature the heavy bags today because I think they're the best heavy bags in the business, but I can't pick them up and put them on the camera. They're too heavy. Go to dakotafightgear.com. Check out what they got. I swear to God, they make the best heavy bags on the planet. They're nice. They're big. They're fun to hit. Dakota Fight Gear. Guys, as always, Box Runner shoes, the best boxing shoes in the business. They're super lightweight, durable, breathable, the best ankle support in boxing. Go check out Box Runner shoes at boxrunnershoes.com and make a purchase. They're $99. You can't even beat that. Nike Hyper KOs are like $260. These are lighter. Box Runner shoes. Check them out. Just made a mess. So I'm back from Edmonton. We went over to KO Boxing 83. I traveled out there with HD Derek, my internet camera guy / punching bag. I don't know how you want to explain him. But we went out there. We did a quick in and out trip. We left Thursday morning at 6 a.m. and we arrived back here Saturday morning at like fucking 8 a.m. It wasn't a long couple days, but it was 14 hours in the vehicle with a ginger. And that's not good for anyone. But we left here Thursday morning at 6 a.m. We arrived in Edmonton at 2 p.m. I believe it was around that time, 2 p.m. And the first stop we made was over to the Clinch Fight Shop to go see my buddy Sunil. Stopped in there. I got myself a nice Nike boxing shirt. Nike's under a little bit of scrutiny right now, but I'm still going to rep them anyway. I don't give a fuck. But the Clinch Fight Shop in Edmonton, they're the best fight shop they got there. And it was fun to go see Sunil, check out what he had in the store, hear about some new things that he's bringing in. Sunil, I still need one of those round things to punch. That'd be great. So after we left there, we checked into our hotel room at the Chateau Lacombe, and that was a fucking ordeal and a half. Had to call Derek's mom and a whole bunch of other bullshit, fucking craziness. But then we decided we were gonna go and have something to eat. Now, where we went was the Walk Box, which I really like Walk Box, and it tastes good. It's relatively healthy. I didn't feel like complete shit after, but fuck, did it take a toll on my ass. After I ate the Walk Box, like I had a shake in the morning before I left. I had a boogie shake. Got to Edmonton, we had the Walk Box, man, and the violent farts that were leaving my body for the next 24 hours was pure insanity. Like, you know when you get those silent farts and they stink really fucking bad? These farts stunk that bad, but it sounded like a four-piece brass orchestra coming out of my anus. And it was so fucking loud. And I don't know if you guys have ever smelt a ginger fart, but like gingers have no souls, so their farts they stink more than the average human beings just because they're a shitty person. And Derek had the farts too, and it must. I would have hate to have been on the same floor as us because it was bad, but the farts lasted like right until the next day. It was terrible. Thursday night, we go down to the KO Boxing 83 weigh-ins. I get to see all my buddies. I see Cam O'Connell, Brad Switzer, Jelena, Mel, Robbie Cousin. All my buddies were down there. PMAC's dad. He's a funny fucker. Who else did I see down there? Oh, fucking shit-faced Lino. Seeing the boys, Rafi and Carl. Weigh-ins were good, man. It was really quiet without the boogeyman there. There was a noticeable lack of how do I want to put it? There's a lack of it wasn't enthusiasm because people were enthusiastic. Like the guys that were weighing in were ready to go in and get the job done and do all that, but it was just maybe a lack of hype. Maybe that's what I want to say. And noticeably for me, it wasn't as fun because my friend wasn't there. But we got the weigh-ins done. Flavio Michel showed up with what might have been the greatest outfit of all time. He had like workout gloves on, like a silver vest with no shirt on underneath, and track pants. It's fucking amazing. And I got to meet a Canadian legend. This guy was the champion of Canada in 1959. I don't want to say his name wrong. Fuck. I'll look it up. My bad. But I got to meet Chad Selkirk from Black Star Boxing in Saskatoon, which I'm going to be going down there and hanging out with those guys and getting some rounds in with one of their guys, Stu. Johnny Devison. Sorry. I knew his first name was Johnny, and I knew it started with a D. I didn't want to fuck it up. But he was our Canadian champion in 1959. Like, this guy was wearing an Adidas full tracksuit. Blue. Amazing. And he's 83 years old, and he's still coming out to these events, cornering his guys and getting all that done. So respect to him. I got to meet him. That was a cool opportunity. Meet the guys from Black Star Boxing. Make a plan to get in rounds with those guys. Hopefully I can go find Gary Kopus while I'm in Saskatoon too, throw him in my trunk and bring him with me. But weigh-ins went well. Everybody made weight, I believe. But what did we do after that? We went out for dinner with Cam O'Connell and his family. Whenever I get to hang out with Cam, it's always a treat because we have a good time. We joke around. One of my boxing coaches is one of Cam's coaches, Roman Chivkovsky. So he was there. Coach Doug was there. His little daughter was there. We had fun talking with her about broccoli and carrots. So the day before the fights, we had a great time. Caught a nap, all that kind of shit. The day of the fights, super fucking tired. So we got up, in the morning. Derek was fucking jerking off in the shower. I could hear him. He was talking to himself and fingering his asshole at the same time. It was weird. Got super awkward for like 20 minutes when he got out. I was like, fuck, man. You can't do that. We should have got separate rooms if I knew you were going to do that. Just defoul yourself in the bathroom with your finger in your ass. But I guess weirder things have happened in life. So we got up, went and did some shit, went back to the hotel, had a nap, got up, went and did some more shit. I went and bought some underwear, some shorts. What else did I do? But then basically we got ready to go and put the suits on. For the people that know me, you guys know I'm not a suit guy. But I throw on suits for KO boxing because it's a special event. And so we got the suits on, went down, and covered the fights. So it was a fairly short night of fights. There's only 6 fights on the card. 2 fights fell through with the Russian and the Kazakh. I'm sorry, Artur, and I don't know the other guy's name, but he's a killer. But there were some visa issues with them getting back into the province, or the country, sorry. And they had to pull out from the fights. But that left us with 6 fights. So the first 2 fights of the night were Lee Baxter's guys versus some Mexicans. Now, Lino was really high on fucking Johnny the Greek, I believe his name is. I don't know, something the Greek. Said he looked like a killer when he was sparring, but I was not overly impressed with the gentleman from Lee Baxter's. Maybe he just had an off night. I don't know. His opponent looked like he was fucking 70. I figured it would be over quick. He ended up TKOing him in the second round, I believe. But it was a lackluster performance, in my opinion. You know what? I'd like to see him again, but against a better opponent. I feel like he was just putting in the motions. You know what I'm saying? Guys, smile, V liquid. Second fight of the night was another Lee Baxter guy with a afro. Now this kid, he had some legit boxing skills, but he took to the Anderson Silva showboating a hell of a lot more than I thought he should have been. And I'm all for showboating and doing your thing, but when you take it to, there's a fine line between showboating and it being funny, and then showboating and being a complete cunt. And come the third round, this guy was just being a complete cunt. He was making weird noises in the ring, putting his hands down, running around like an asshole. And I think if he had to put the amount of effort in he did to showboating to trying to finish the fight, we could have had that fucking thing over with quicker than 4 rounds. So he got booed out of the building. I highly doubt we'll see him back again. But I'm all for second chances. I'd like to see him come back and actually do some work instead of fuck around. But is what it is, I guess. So, the showboating visibly bothered me because I stopped watching the fight. Like, I didn't even record it. It was sad. Like, you gotta have. I understand showboating to get the guy to engage or try to get him to do something, but when you're doing it and it's over and over and over and over and over again, and your round's 3 minutes, but you showboated for 1:45, and you've only put in like a minute 20 of work, like, I don't know. Maybe he'll get in trouble when he goes home. Who fucking knows? Next fight of the night was Carlito Santoro versus Ian Abbott, which was hands down fight of the night. Carl moved on to 4-0. Ian Abbott fell to 1-3. Ian's a Saskatchewan guy, but I like Carl. He's my friend. His dad pisses me off a little bit sometimes, but obviously rooting for Carl in the fight. Carl had to pull out of the last event. Maybe he didn't even pull out. Maybe he just didn't have a fight, but I know he was injured. Carl looked fantastic. His footwork was on. His punches were good. He looked good in the pocket. He was tying him up, getting out, landing shots all around. Good performance. The one thing I did notice was the elbow on the jab. That's quickly fixed by his coach. Um, but great fight. Now Lino had multiple things going on in the corner in this fight. I ended up actually Lino stopped calling instructions, and I don't know what he was talking about, but I ended up telling Lino what to say for a couple of the rounds because I don't want to say he froze up. I think he was distracted by something that was going on in the audience that was close to home to him. And his son needed some instructions, so I gave Lino the instructions to give to his son. Realistically, am I supposed to do that? No. But Dave Zabit was pretty quiet. Raphael was pretty quiet in the corner. So Lino is obviously the loudest mouth in that corner. So I just told his big ass what to say. He said it. Got through the fight. Carl won. Looked great. Came in shape. Made weight. Congratulations to him. I don't know what's next for him. Maybe Keegan Oliver would like to do that one finally. I don't know. Next fight of the night. Next fight was my buddy Robbie Cousins versus my new friend Kai Sabo. I don't want to. Robbie got knocked out in the first round, TKO'd in the first round, unfortunately, which I thought that fight could have been fight of the night too. I don't know what happened with Robbie's camp. I know it was kind of short, but listen, he's going to learn from the loss and come back. Robbie looked good. Like what he was doing in the ring, he looked fantastic. His punches were sharp. His combinations were good. His footwork was on point. I know that Kai trained his ass off for this fight. He quit smoking, quit doing what else he was doing, quit drinking, was in the gym. He had a fantastic corner in Chad Selkirk and Johnny Davidson. I know that that Mel Lubovic was a little bit shocked when Kai came in with Johnny, and knew this was going to be a different fight. Now I did call this fight a month out, and it happened exactly as I said it would. That Kai would finish Robbie. I think the fight with Carlito Santoro against Kai Sabo really woke Kai up, and he didn't want to lose again. Now he's moved to 4-4. Robbie's moved to 3-1-0. Realistically, this loss for Robbie isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing. People rebound from losses more than they do from they don't. He's gonna learn from this. Instead of a 6-week camp or a 4-week camp, he's gonna do an 8-week camp, or he's gonna start getting ready earlier. Have everything on point. Maybe add some coaches into the arsenal that he has never worked with before. Who fucking knows what he's gonna do? But Robbie's a real talent, and he's got fantastic boxing skills, and he's a tough kid. And this will do nothing but good for him. Now, I know in boxing, when you see that O is gone, people think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. When I see guys with the records like Steve Claggett, who's had losses, Cam O'Connell, who's had losses, these are guys that know what it's like to come back from a loss, which makes their drive to win that much more than a guy that's undefeated. So Soap Robbie comes back. Now I know Kai, I think he has another assignment November 3rd at Dakota. And I'd enjoy seeing what's going to happen with him next. I wouldn't put Kai as a technical boxer where I would put Robbie as a technical boxer. I feel Kai is more of a brawler. But that style has good luck. So congratulations to him on the win. Next fight of the night was Flavio Michel versus Isaac Morales, I believe his name was. Flavio's moved to 8-2, and Isaac's moved to 7-6. Now this was to deal with everything that happened on the weekend. We're gonna jump back to this fight at some point. But Flavio, I expected Flavio to knock this guy out within the first 2 rounds. That didn't happen. Went to a decision. He went the 6. Which necessarily isn't a bad thing because now Flavio knows he can do 6. Because I believe his next fight's going to be 8 or 10. But it's not the best I've seen Flav look. No, I like to compare Flavio to Vitor Belfort. He can be a world beater or he cannot be. It depends on what guy shows up on that night. That's not a knock on him by any means because Flavio's super dangerous and he hits hard. But he's got these wild looping punches that he likes to revert back to, which you leave you wide open. And what I'd like to see him do is add a little bit of technical. I know he can do it. I'm not saying that he can't. But I'd like to see him implement some more of the technical boxing in his fights as opposed to going for broke all the time and trying to finish these guys right off the hop. If he had to technically box this guy for the first 2 rounds and just put the pace on him, he probably could have wore him down and finished him. But it didn't happen. The shit happens in this fucking boxing, man. You never know what's going to happen. So Flavio moves on with another win and potentially a big matchup coming up in maybe November or December. The main event of the evening was Irish Cam O'Connell, my little buddy, versus Jesus Laguna, which was a fantastic fight to watch. It was a boxing match. And that's always fun to see when you've got multiple different styles in these fights. Sometimes you see a brawl, sometimes you see a boring fight, sometimes you see a mismatch. But this fight was good. Cam looked fantastic. He was fighting a southpaw, and he fought the one knock on it is he fought the southpaw like he was fighting an orthodox guy. So when you're in there with a southpaw, you got to fight for foot positions because your lead feet are pointed directly at each other. You got to fight for the outside position. When you fight for the outside position, for an orthodox guy, you're left with a right hand to lead with, which is going to go right down the pipe and crack him in the mouth. If you're on the inside, so if my foot is on the inside of the southpaw, they have the straight punch to lead with to hit me. So I thought Cam did a really good. Cam takes some punches that are very unnecessary, but he looked good. He left marked up. I'd like to. I don't want to shit on him because I love Cam, but I thought Cam needed a finish in this fight. It didn't happen, although we did have a very impressive performance. The footwork was great. The head movement was great. The angles were great. The punches were great. He looked good, man. Cam's next fight, I'd like to see him against a Canadian, either in the KO boxing ring or back in Montreal. That'd be great. So congratulations to everybody on the card that won. Congratulations to the gentleman that stepped in there, put it all on the line, and took the loss. Next KO boxing will be in December. And I don't know who's going to be on that card. I think it needs to be a banger. I think the Boogeyman needs to be in the main event. Maybe potentially against Stanley Cermak. Good all-Canadian matchup and a good all-KO matchup. I know that Stan Cermak's coach, Kenny Lacusta, has been calling for that fight for a little while now. I'm going to talk about this fight a little bit because I think it's a terrible idea for Stan. Stan's young. He's had some heart problems. He's had some devastation in his family. He's had heart surgery. He was on blood thinners. Now, don't get me wrong. Stan aesthetically looks great. I'm not in his head, and I don't know what's going through his brain. But stuff like that has to take a toll. And Adam Braidwood is not the kind of guy you want to step in the ring with when you have something else on your mind other than him. He's a very dangerous individual. He hits hard. I'm telling everybody right now, Adam Braidwood connects one time with Stan with a real shot, it's game over. I don't like the fight. Will I watch the fight? Will I hype it 100%? I do like the fight. I don't like the essence that's around it with the health problems and stuff like that. But if the doctor says Stan's ready to roll and he's ready to go, who the fuck am I to say anything? I ain't a doctor. So maybe that'll happen. Carlito and Raphael need to be on that card, I believe. Um, who else? Well, Flavio, obviously. Eric Taylor. I'd like to see Eric Taylor. The one guy I'd really like to see and wind up his career would be Brad Switzer. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Brad's got a fantastic job selling dental equipment. It sounds kind of creepy, but he's got the potential to make a lot of money. Brad's also 38 years old, 38, 39 years old. So do we see Brad back in the ring? I have no fucking idea, but I'd love to see it because he's 7 feet tall, 330 pounds. It's a giant human being. So there was another card that happened on the weekend, and it's from people that I don't normally talk about, and that's Dakota Boxing, Dakota Fight Night, Dakota Contender Series, whatever. They got 700 different fucking names, but it's just Dakota. Michael Short and Dennis Herman put on that show. So initially, I wanted to be on that card against Dwayne Lewis. Michael Short didn't see fit that he wanted me on his card, which I'm cool with that, man. Like, if you don't want to work with me, I don't want to work with you. It's all good. It was a chance for me to get in the ring with a guy I consider a legend in Canadian combat sports. He's been around forever. He's been fighting for 11 years. He's a legend. He got in there against some other tall guy that was 6'6" named Anton. Anton threw 20% punches and just ended up outpointing Dwayne the whole fight. I thought Dwayne won the first round. That was about it. But the whole time I was banging my head on the fucking tables. When are we gonna see D-Bomb? What the fuck is happening? Like, why? Why? You walk through these punches normally. Comes out after the fight, after the loss, that Dwayne had a flare-up of sciatica. Now, Dwayne and I have talked on this show a couple times about sciatica, and it's a terrible thing. I suffered from it for months and months and months after knee surgery, but probably a year after knee surgery. It's just been gone over the last probably 6 months. It's been gone. I actually attribute that to CBD. But Dwayne fought with a full flare-up of sciatica. Now, if you guys have never had a sciatica problem or anything like that, it's crippling, and I don't even know how he walked to the ring and got in there. It doesn't, just mind over matter, I guess. A tough motherfucker. But he ended up losing that fight. Immediately after the fight, Dwayne retired, and then the next day he put out another video kind of taking it back a little bit and saying he doesn't know if he's going to fight again, but it'll be his decision and his family's decision. Realistically, I think Dwayne fights again. I don't think he's done. I don't think he wants to go out like that, and I don't want to see him go out like that. So hopefully Big D-Bomb Lewis can come back and get his back figured out. He's in fantastic shape. Whatever he's eating, I want to eat it. He looks fucking great. But hopefully he comes back and can compete one more time, go out the way he wants to go, whether he's got to go out on a shield or he's going to put somebody else out. I'd like to see it. Realistically, would I like to be the person standing across the ring from him? 100%. It'd be an honor. Do I think it'll happen? No. But you can only wish. The other interesting fight on that card was Devin Reddy. He fought another Mexican fella. So Devin, he looked good, man. He didn't do anything wrong. Nothing wrong. Technical boxing. He got caught a couple times with overhand rights. Nothing big. Did his work. Got in there and got the unanimous decision. Jeremy Ballantyne. I don't know if this was a setup. It's got the smell of setup all over, where we're going to do the call out. The Roman Reigns is in the ring and Brock Lesnar's going to come in and call him out. I'm cool with it. I think it's funny. I think it's good for the sport. Dakota does it a lot, which is fine, with the Jesse Arnett calling out the Santini brothers, which their actual name is Santoro. That fight never came to happen. So this one was Devin Reddy calls out Flavio Michel. Says he's ready to fight whenever he wants. He doesn't care where the fight takes place. Calgary, Edmonton, he'll knock him out anywhere. which is great. I loved it. I thought it was good. I love the fight. I really like the fight because we've got a classic boxer in Devin Reddy versus a legit knockout artist in Flavio Michel, who's very unorthodox. It's a good stylistic matchup. Who wins? I don't know. Who do I think wins is Flavio. I think for a classic boxer like Devin, those unorthodox strikes that come in at weird angles are going to catch him off guard, and Flavio hits fucking hard, man. He's going to chin him. Word on the street is that there's a rematch clause. So whoever wins, they go on and rematch again. So let's say they fight November at Dakota, they rematch December at KO, or vice versa. They fight at KO in December and rematch in February or whatever the fuck it is. But hey, man, I like it. Let's get it going. I did post a video of the call out. It blew up pretty good. I enjoyed it. I sent the Dakota guys a message because I screen recorded their pay-per-view. I just said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be as nice as possible because realistically, I'm gonna show up to that event when Flavio fights Devin, wearing a KO boxing T-shirt, guaranteed." But I just said, "Hey, please don't sue me." I pulled the clip. And Dennis Herman was cool with it. He said it needed to happen. And 24 hours later, they did the same fucking thing. So hopefully we got the ball rolling on that fight and we can get it to go. Which I believe that fight has been in the works for actually a little while now. But, Flavio's been calling him out. Devin's been calling him out behind the scenes, all this shit show. Lino Santoro got involved in it. Then he tried to get Rafi to get... Who fucking knows? It's a big shit show. So let's see if we can get it to go. Other than that, it was a great weekend. A great weekend of fights. Who else fought? There was a WBC title fight. Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter. I did watch that fight. Very entertaining fight. It was back and forth, round for round. I had Sean Porter up by 2 rounds by the end of the fight, which consisted with the judges. The guys that were watching it on TV had it a draw. I wouldn't have been mad at a draw either. It was a great fight. Well, I'm sure that they'll rematch at some point again. But congratulations to Sean Porter. He's been chasing that WBC green belt for a really long time. It's been like that one thing right up here that he's always wanted to get, and he finally got it. So congratulations. That brings me to this weekend's event, which is going to be Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G, which is the rematch. They were supposed to rematch a couple times already. Canelo tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs, clenbuterol, I believe. I don't know how much of that Mexican beef he's eaten, but he got in trouble for it anyway. My pick for the fight is Triple G. I'm a Triple G fan. I'm also a fan of Triple G's sparring partner, Deshaun Flyboy Johnson. I know Triple G took it super serious. There was some heavy sparring that was going on in the camp. I had eyes in that camp, actually, that gave me some inside tracks on what's going on. So I'm going to call Triple G by knockout round 9, if not earlier. There's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to say Canelo. Here's what I'm not a fan of. Ginger Mexicans. I've never seen it before. It's weird. Just kidding. Triple G by knockout, round 9 or before that. Another fight on the card that's fun is Gary Spike O'Sullivan versus David Lemieux, all-Canadian match. Or they're not an all-Canadian matchup. We have a Canadian in the matchup. And David Lemieux. I think David Lemieux's seen his better days. And I think Spike O'Sullivan is going to knock him out at some point during the fight. I'm not even going to call around. Because Spike O'Sullivan can do it whatever he wants. I like Spike. I like David. But I think Spike takes this fight. What else do I need to talk about? I don't know. I think I can get the fuck out of here for today. I don't even know how long this is. Maybe I'll try to call somebody later and get them on the show. But, guys, the podcast today was brought to you by On it. So get over to www.onit.com. Pick yourself up some Alpha Brain. Get yourself some New Mood. On checkout, use the promo code TFS Podcast and save 10%. We're also brought to you by Buds and Leaves. Go to www.budsandleaves.com. Get yourself some CBD capsules. Get yourself a Buddha stick. Get yourself some dry herb. Fix what ails you. We're also brought to you by Tough Canuck Beard Company. The best beard products on the planet. Check them out. Get the beard oil. Get the beard balm. Smile Canada. Smile V-Liquid Shake and Spray. Hit them up. Get some Smile products. They're the best products on the planet. Smile V-Liquid. You can use the vaporizer e-juice as tincture too. You can eat it. Put it in your shakes. Put it on your food. Who gives a fuck? It's not going to kill you. Box Runner Shoes. Get over to www.boxrunnershoes.com. Pick yourself up a pair of low top or high top box runners. They're $99. Last but not least, Dakota Fight Gear. So get over to www.dakotafightgear.com and check out what they have to offer. And that's the final shot. All right, I talked about the Canelo Triple G fight. I figured I'd call my friend from Montreal, the best BOGO journalist in the business of boxing, Manny Montreal.
What's up, brother?
Same shit, different pile. Just got back from Edmonton. I seen you logged in on my live streams a couple times.
Yeah, I was able to tune in. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. There were some good fights.
Yeah.
There
was a couple
ones.
where, I'll tell you what, you guys be happy you have the commission you have. I think if that card would have happened in Montreal, there would have been some problems.
100%.
Like there was some dudes that were a little too raw, needed to go back in for cooking.
Yep.
You know,
yeah.
But otherwise though, you're right about it. There was a couple really good fights though.
The Carlito Santoro Ian Abbott fight was fantastic.
That kid can fucking box, man.
Yeah,
the Santoro kid, like I'd have him anywhere. You know what I mean? I'd love to have him over here.
You should see his brother.
Yeah, I heard. I didn't see.
His brother's better, and that's not.
His brother was on the card also, right?
No, his brother didn't fight this time. He'll be on the next one in December.
Okay.
And then there was a quick knockout. Robbie Cousin and Kai Sabo, gentleman from Saskatchewan.
Okay.
Quick one. And then the main event was good too. Cam O'Connell versus the Mexican fellow. What the hell was it? Jesus Laguna.
Yeah, Laguna's a tough little fucker though. So, yeah. You know, Cam didn't have it easy, but
no, Cam looked good. Like the footwork was good. The combinations were good. The distance was good. I liked the fight. It was good. But I'd like to see Cam go back to Quebec.
You know what? He's welcome on my parts, man. I'll help him find a home. That's for sure.
I'd like to see him go back there. I'm sick of the Mexican opponents. I'd like to see more Canadian or North American opponents. Maybe.
I think it's gonna happen for him though.
Yeah.
Like, no offense. Like, I don't want to, like he just won. You know what I mean? But I don't think the performance was something. Like, I think the performance he gave might get him more phone calls.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So possibly, yeah. I think you're not off. I think there's a strong chance he might just pop up here.
Yeah. So the reason I called is we have a massive fight this weekend. I don't even know where the fuck to watch it other than HBO pay-per-view for $84.99. But it's Triple G versus Canelo 2.
There's ways, and tell your followers to DM me, and I will tell them on the DM.
Yes.
However, well, fuck, man. You know what? If you're a real deal fan and you want to watch all the fights, you shouldn't have to pay $85.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, there's very few of us that are going to chip in for this thing. When they talk about pay-per-view buys, they never mention how many actual people watched it, though.
Right?
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if they were really to start counting other people's streams and stuff, I guarantee you there's a lot of people's numbers that would be different.
Oh, guaranteed. It's, even PVR stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's so many people that I know that watch it in different ways other than on the television. So
Look, the bottom line is this: regardless, what's good is that the boxing promoters are catching on slowly, and there's increasingly more stuff on Facebook and other free platforms. So, for example, I know for a fact that the undercards, not all the undercard fights, but some of the undercard fights will be on Facebook Watch for Golden Boy. So you're
okay,
going to be able to tune in and catch some of those. I believe there is a female fighter fighting this weekend. Jeez, I don't have my notes in front of me. Maricela Cornejo. She's fighting for the WBC. Beautiful girl. She boxes beautifully as well. It's just her division's kind of crap, so not much for her to do other than look good, right? But when these guys start investing into female boxers, we'll start seeing divisions looking good. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah.
she's fighting a girl for a WBC title that she had already fought for against Callie Reese, I believe, and Callie Reese beat her.
Okay. This
Point is, it's a solid fight, and because I believe they're trying to support the female boxing a little bit, and seeing as how she won't be on TV, like this is part of the reason why they're going to be streaming fights this weekend.
So on the undercard of that, first I want to get your pick on the fight. Who wins, Canelo or Triple G?
Triple G.
Me too. I got that.
P.S. You can check out on YouTube. I got a whole retrospective and my pick video on my YouTube. Basically, I go over the last fight, like the highlights more or less of what went down.
Yeah.
I look at the scorecards, I look at the punch stats, and that's what leads me to my pick this time around. Because mainly, I'm picking Triple G, but not only am I picking Triple G, I'm not going by decision. He's gonna get the knockout.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason I think all of this is plausible is because if you watch the first fight, it's the first time Triple G threw out that many jabs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he was clearly trying to bait Canelo. Canelo wasn't falling for the trap, and we got the fight that we got. It was a good back and forth moment, but there was never truly a moment where somebody stuck their whole head inside the lion's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, I think with the delay, and then the fans kind of turning on Canelo, and then the whole clenbuterol thing, and then from the first fight with Adelaide Bird, no one other than a dear friend of Canelo has told Canelo he won that fight.
Mm-hmm. I thought he lost. Everybody thought
So
he
did a
lost.
lot of people. And I would have been okay with a draw had Adelaide Bird not scored it so blatantly wide, right? Had she not scored it so blatantly wide, I think people would have a little bit more respect for Canelo.
Yes.
But when it was that wide, people started wondering, and it wasn't directed at Canelo at first. But then the clenbuterol thing, which, I mean, September. We were supposed to have this fight in September.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? May, I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
And we got the first one last September. So we waited a whole fucking year for a rematch when Triple G's getting older, when Canelo's getting older, and they're getting more wear and tear. So, this fight already got fucking delayed. People were already upset with that. It was a clusterfuck for people to get their money back on tickets and everything else. Like, you gotta imagine what kind of nightmare that is for a promoter to lose $100 million like that.
It's a fuckload of money, man.
So they're doing everything they can to recoup. And I believe that even on the promoter side, even though they lick Canelo's ass clean, I strongly believe they're putting a bit of pressure on him on this one.
Yes.
I think with all the pressure from his promoter, from the fans, from the bullshit that went down, from everything, I think he's gonna. Yeah, he's back.
Fucking
I
fly.
think he's. I think Canelo's gonna want to press the action this time. I think he's gonna give Triple G exactly what he wanted the last time, which was stepping into a trap. And yeah, we're gonna get a knockout.
So I called knockout before the ninth round.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so here's another little thing. If you go back, there's actually, it's not mine, but it's on YouTube somewhere. Somebody actually went and got all the corner without commentary.
Oh.
So you can watch, like, I think he gets most of the rounds. There's some rounds you only get one corner, right?
Yeah.
The point is, you really get an intense feeling of what it's like in that corner. Like, is there panic? Is there, are they nervous? Are they talking fast? All kinds of shit. And I'll be honest, both guys looked fucking tired in the 10th, man. Okay, the 10th came around, they both looked fucking ruined. What killed me is if you watch Canelo start the 10th, he waited on a stool. Like everyone's out of the ring,
Mm.
right? It's just the ref hasn't turned to him yet to tell him, okay, let's go. And then, the bell rings. Canelo sat on his stool the whole fucking, as long as he could. And then when he got up, he put his gloves on his knees.
Yeah. You're done,
So,
sir.
I mean, assuming, Canelo's been eating American USDA beef and, the Cambuterol is not in his system, then yeah, I'm assuming his gas might be an issue as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ninth is kind of tough, though. I don't know. I don't know if I want to call rounds, man.
Before the ninth. So I had an inside track on Triple G's camp with Deshaun Flyboy Johnson being a main sparring partner for Triple G. Now, they did a very interesting thing for this one where they flew in Deshaun's coach.
Yeah, I saw some stuff on Instagram and whatnot. Good kid. I mean, what a hell of an opportunity too.
This isn't the first time he's been in that camp. He's been in Triple G's camp multiple times. But what they wanted to do was have live sparring, like we're going.
Okay.
And so they did. Triple G had his corner. Deshaun had his corner, and they did live fight.
Wow.
Yeah. So from what I'm hearing is Canelo is in a fucking world of trouble.
I hope so. I'll say this, right? If you consider things too, you know, Triple G went off and fought Vanez Matrosian there,
Mm-hmm.
right? What you just told me is a bit of an insult to Vanez. Right? Like, I don't feel I got enough of a fight. I think I'm going to need a couple more fights before the fight.
Yeah.
That's fucked. But Canelo hasn't been doing fuck all, man. He's been training and eating meat. You know what I mean? So that's very interesting stuff to hear, though. That's very interesting stuff to hear. I still won't pick a round, though.
Well, also on that card, Manny, we have a Montreal guy, Eye of the Tiger Management promoted, David Lemieux versus one of my favorite guys, hands down in boxing right now, Gary Spike O'Sullivan.
You know what? It's a great matchup. I wrote to HBO. I said they should broadcast it in black and white.
Right?
It's a throwback fight. If you were upset with David Lemieux for the Billy Joe Saunders fight, we are not going to get that. It won't be a repeat of that.
No.
That much I can guarantee you. So, I mean, they got similar styles.
They have complementary styles where it's going to be a fucking bang fest.
Yeah, well, you see, that's the thing. I don't know about a fest. Maybe a soiree.
I think
maybe a
it might be short.
That's my point, because as much as I like Gary, and I met him, I spoke to him, solid dude. I like the whole Dropkick Murphys outfit.
Yeah.
I like the whole idea behind it. I wish him success in his career. David is the highest level opponent he's ever had.
Oh, 100%, right? Yeah.
And a lot of people are just using the Billy Joe Saunders fight, as the reason why Spike has a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. Spike's not Billy Joe, number one. Number two, David himself, on some level, was obviously not happy with his performance in that fight. Okay? And if you know the history of David Lemieux, he's been written off before. It's happened. He got knocked out twice in a row.
Yep.
His career got fucking kicked off the rails. He went from being washed up and people talking about him being done to headlining HBO with Triple G at Madison Square Garden. I don't want to say comeback, you know what I mean? But I know that his major issue, and I discussed this on your show, I believe the last time I was on, is motivation.
Yes.
And, he's getting on in years, man. He's been around the game for a long time. He started off as a baby, and then, he's got kids himself now. It's a whole different world. So I think the motivation is key, especially at this stage in his career. It's got to get him up in the morning. It's got to get him into the gym. It's got to, not only that, but it's got to get him to put out 100 or 200% or whatever the fuck. But he's got to give it his all. He's got to feel like it's important for him to win, and not just win, to look good doing it.
Do you think this is the curtain call for David Lemieux?
If he loses here, I think that there'll definitely be some fucking conversations.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to rethink a lot of stuff, because right now, Eye of the Tiger is more or less in. They're in need of HBO to come to them in order to have big shows.
Yeah.
And although they got a massive stable with a lot of great talent, everyone's young. David's the only, marquee name.
Yeah.
So if David no longer becomes a marquee name, it kind of hurts things over here.
I picked Spike O'Sullivan to win the fight by knockout. I think he can pull the trigger before David can.
Yeah.
As much as I like David Lemieux and I don't want to see him get knocked out, I think it's a viable possibility that it happens.
I'll put it to you like this. I like Spike. I don't think any of his knockouts come from power. I think they're well placed. He moves well, and he puts his energy. He moves his energy around well.
Yeah.
So when he decides to pounce on you, he's pouncing. When he decides to come in with a crazy hook, he doesn't get caught with stupid shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's ever been hit by a guy like David Lemieux.
Probably not.
And before the knockout, I think body shots and all the rest is gonna stifle what Spike's doing. So on a friendly bet, I'll owe you a Tim Hortons if David loses, but
done.
All right. Tim Hortons gift card there.
I'll send it in the mail.
Deal.
The only part that I'm picking Spike O'Sullivan over David Lemieux is David's got a lot of shit. Like, he's got a family, he's got a wife, he's over here, he looks good though, he looks in shape.
Yeah, and I'm happy the weight cut's looking right this time around. Again, going back to motivation and nothing else.
Yeah.
Look, he's on HBO, man. He wants to stay on HBO.
He has
nothing against Spike, but Spike wins. Spike goes to the next HBO show. The next HBO show doesn't come to him.
Yeah.
Right? David wins. The next HBO show David's on is more than likely one that'll come to him.
Yes.
So, I think it's a... Dude, my man Shaquille's been sparring David for this camp. And, I obviously have the insight on that. Yeah, I'm feeling good about this.
Feeling good about this one? All right, we got Tim Hortons bet on this.
Yeah, deal. What do you think? Brandon Cook's done for or what?
I think so, yeah.
I like the kid. I really like the kid. I don't wish him anything bad. He's a hardworking fucking lad. He's a blue-collar fucking boxer. There's, salt of the earth. I fucking love everything about it. But Munguia's a fucking monster.
I have an issue with Yimi Munguia. I don't think he's as good as what they're toting him to be, but I think he hits like a fucking Mack truck.
Yeah, no. He's like the white Adonis Stevenson. It's not a question of skill. Just he hits hard. It's real hard. No, I just want to point out something, right? On that undercard, there's a kid named Alexis Rocha,
Hmm.
and obviously there's also Chocolatito.
Yeah,
So
it's a
just, I
big
mean,
card.
it's worth $80. It's just I understand not everybody can afford $80.
No,
You know what I mean? Just Chocolatito alone's a pay-per-view in my mind.
yeah,
You know what I
he's
mean?
fantastic.
You can make an evening of Chocolatito. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Uh, with Munguia, his last fight was Liam Smith,
Yeah.
and I thought for the first few rounds, Liam Smith gave him a boxing lesson.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like I think if Liam Smith and Cook fought, Liam Smith would win.
Yes.
So it's nothing against Cook, but that's a very good example of why I think Cook's going to lose.
Yeah.
Because Smith gave him his best. Okay? Gave him his best. And when the power came in, it was like, fuck no.
I
So,
like Liam Smith for 6 rounds.
yeah, no, he's a smart boxer. He's a crafty guy. He's been in the game for a long fucking time. Can take a punch. You know, he checks all the boxes for a guy that you're looking to see if your guys,
Yeah, yeah,
belongs
yeah,
on that higher level.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And if he did beat him, and he beat him, I mean, there's no question about it. You know what I mean? So
Liam Smith opened some doors for guys with power, though. Liam Smith doesn't have any power. He doesn't hit hard.
no,
If he
no,
had power in that fight with Munguia, he would have won. He would have knocked him out.
absolutely, absolutely. He exposed some things about Munguia, but I mean, that was kind of supposed to happen.
Hmm.
Because as weird as it sounds, right? Promoters will book fights like this sometimes to teach their boxer a lesson.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I know you think you're good, and I think you're good too, but you're not as good as you think you are.
Yeah.
And you need to calm down with the calling outs of the so and so's and asking for big money. And you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna pay you what you want, but you're gonna have to fight this Smith character, and you're gonna have to look good doing it.
Yeah.
You
He's
get what
going
I'm
to
saying?
fuck you up for 6 rounds and then you're going to have to win.
Yeah, that's more or less what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But either that or a promoter was like, "Well, we want to know whether or not you got it. We want to move you along. We want to start, chasing after some big fucking money fights.
Mhm.
So this is the way you do it." You know what I mean? Now Cook, I feel like Cook was brought in there. The resume's right on Cook. You know what I mean? He's got one loss. He's got that big win against Butler. He's a little guy, doesn't punch hard or too. He punches hard. Butler will tell you he punches hard, but
Yeah.
you know, if that cannot Islam fight really opened my eyes to even on what level Butler was on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really opened my eyes when I saw Kanat Islam. I was like, "Fuck, there's levels to this shit. Like, this guy's got to calm down."
Yeah.
You know
Uh,
what I mean?
there's levels to everything, right? But there was a big fight on the weekend that happened for a WBC title. Fuck was it? No, I just watched the goddamn fight. It was good too.
Con Vargas.
Nope, the other one. I didn't watch Con Vargas.
You didn't watch Con Vargas? Con almost fucking got him.
I haven't watched it yet. I have it.
Vargas, listen, Vargas drops him, right? And it's a thing of beauty because it changed the whole fucking tempo, right?
Yeah.
And he almost got him again in the 10th.
Fuck.
Now, here's the thing. Sammy was going to lose that fight, right? It's kind of what everyone thought. But not a lot of people thought that Sammy was going to look that good, and he did. He looked really fucking good against Khan. Khan was calling out Manny Pacquiao after. Like, I don't know. Does that include, like, does Pacquiao pay for funerary services or something? Like, there's got to be some reason he's looking into Manny. 'Cause I think Manny will hurt him and hurt him bad, considering that Sammy Vargas dropped him almost twice.
It's not a good. This fucking fly's pissing me off. It keeps flying around all over the place.
You need a bug spray.
Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter. That's the fucking fight. I like the fight. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. That, you know what? For that fight, for me, came down to the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said it on my video last week. These guys could fight 10 fucking times, and the result will be different.
One,
It'll go back and forth. They're
yeah,
made to fight each other. Hold on a sec. Feed them. Sorry.
it was a great fight. I liked it. I had Porter up.
Yeah. No. Well, listen. It wasn't a robbery. There was nothing wrong with it. Porter's not gonna live long in the game fighting with his style. You know what I mean? He's a lot of. I mean, Danny Garcia's got a cut on the side of his head,
Yeah,
like a 2-inch gash, and then another big cut on his nose. That's all headbutts. There's no punches on the earth that'll do that, right?
no.
Um, I think he gets beat by Thurman.
Oh yeah, that's
You know,
not a
even if
fight.
Thurman's been out of the ring for a while and whatnot. And I think Danny Garcia and him are just evenly matched. And like I said, overall, it was the corners that did the difference. Both of them cornered by their dads, but you know, Porter's dad just was giving him the right advice and talking to him in the right tone. Whereas then I felt Danny's dad was just yelling at him and telling him stuff, but it wasn't useful. Like I watched it twice actually, and I was a little disappointed in Danny's dad. And it sucks because he says he'll never fight with him in his corner, but it's one of those times where, like very few coaches are into sharing fighters, I guess, or
Yeah,
allowing another coach to work on their fighter, which is a mentality that I believe has to change.
100%.
Uh, it's important for your guys to get different flavors. You get stuck in routines. You get used to doing pad work with a certain guy.
Yeah,
And even if he goes and watches some YouTube videos and, throws in some pirouettes and comes up with some new fandangled moves to pull off, it's still eventually going to become routine because you guys spend the majority of your time together. This is why you go and do camps and fight in other guys' gyms. And, these are the reasons you do those things. And for me, I feel like if Danny Garcia wants to progress or at least keep going the way he's going, he's going to need to get some outside work to supplement. He doesn't have to
yeah.
replace his dad, but he definitely needs some outside work.
I don't like Danny's dad very much. He's gone off at a couple press conferences. Sean Porter's dad was definitely the better coach of the evening, hands down.
You know what? Here's the thing. Go look into Danny's dad's background a bit more. I guarantee you, based on knowing you a little bit, that you'll end up liking him a bit more.
Okay, I'm gonna research him a little bit now.
He did time. He did time and some hard time too. So
Did he? Oh.
yeah. Like Danny's first memory of him is him walking down the street at 7, and like him coming back from jail.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, no, he's got some weird street gang tattoos on him too. If you ever get to see him in person,
Yeah.
like HBO puts makeup on him. Like he's got a little neck tatty, a little dagger thing. He's got a little thing on his hand. He's got some prison tats.
Manny, I just had one of your guys in Quebec add me to the Facebooks the other day, and I'm a half an idiot, and I'm forgetting his name right now, but it's a big name. Black fella.
Okay.
Just fought, won a big fight. Pretty sure he won a title.
Elwood Alvarez?
No. Damn it. Now I'm going to go on my fucking Facebook.
Castillo Clayton?
You said I would find him in a restaurant in Montreal at any point in time. You could tell me where he is.
Elwood Alvarez or Kaboom Rivas?
It's one of the two. I can't remember
Oscar
now.
Kaboom Rivas or Elwood Alvarez? Elwood Alvarez is the guy that just fought Kovalev and beat him.
Yes, that's it.
He's Colombian.
Yes. Now, does he live in the Montreal?
Yeah, he lives in Montreal. His family lives in Colombia. He lives and I'm in a fucking rat's nest, but he lives in a smaller apartment than mine, in a shittier neighborhood. Hopefully not anymore. Hopefully they'll change that when he comes back from his trip, but
Does he speak English?
badly.
Okay.
Very little. Like you're gonna have to, if you're trying to get street directions off of him, you're gonna get lost.
Fuck. He messaged me something about he wanted to come on, and I said okay, that I'll talk to Manny and see if you speak fucking English first.
Send me the name in case it's not him. But
Okay.
yeah, no, he speaks French well because he's been here so freaking long.
Yeah.
But the English, he's picking up on it. But if ever that's the case, like I'll gladly translate for you anytime, bud.
Okay. That was
Can
gonna
you
be
do
my.
3 ways on this thing?
Oh yeah, we can do
Oh,
six
there you
ways
go.
on this thing if you really wanted to get crazy, but wouldn't be able to decipher what anybody else is saying, guaranteed.
Point being, you can have him on the show, and I'll gladly any French dude too. I speak Spanish and French, bud. So
Oh, that's good because I've had some Spanish guys that have wanted to come on too. I'm like, well, I don't have a fucking translator. Now I do.
I'll just point out though, I come from a region of Spain which is the equivalent of the Newfoundland of Spain.
Good enough for me.
So we're kind of left to ourselves, and I have my own weird dialect, right? But they understand what the fuck I'm saying. It's just they're gonna ask you afterwards, like, what farm is he from?
I'll just say he's from Quebec. Coming up in Quebec, I believe you have Dylan Carmen versus Simon Keane. How is that transpiring over there? I haven't seen anything. Uh-oh. On hold. Manny put me on hold. That was fucking rude. We're back now. Manny put us on hold, but
I'm I'm sorry, I got a weird 1-800 phone call at the same time, so
that'll happen when you get phone
I te-
calls. Skype goes on hold, but you heard the question though, right?
uh yeah, you were basically asking me if what the fuck were you asking me? Oh, Simon Keane, Dylan Carmen, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah.
Well, Dylan Carmen is not Adam Braywood.
No.
Therefore, things have been boring.
Okay.
Uh, you know, Simon Keane's being Simon Keane. I will say this: he's sparring somebody interesting. House, the reptile, the
Wow.
giant white boy that gave Deontay Wilder a tough time.
Wow, really? They brought him in?
Yeah, I was stunned too. I personally, I would have wanted them to face each other because he's
Yeah.
ranked a little higher, and it makes sense with the francophone thing going on here. You know what I mean? Even if they would have done it in France, it would have still been good. He could have sold some pay-per-views here. But yeah, they're sparring together. He's helping him out.
Good for him.
So, well, yeah, I thought Dylan Carmen was fucked before this, but I mean,
Now he's fucked.
yeah, he's fucked.
I was gonna jump on this fight a couple days ago and start hyping it up a little bit because Simon and I were now cordial and friendly.
Okay.
He figured out that I wasn't a giant piece of shit and I actually made him some money.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's understandable. You are and still are Team Braywood.
Yeah,
I
one
mean, if
hundred
the
percent.
rematch were to happen somehow, right? We all know what the fuck we're gonna do.
Oh yeah, but I have a history with Dylan Carmen too,
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
and I don't like Dylan Carmen as a person.
Okay,
So originally
I,
when
I, I've, I've only had like reporter talks with him. You know, I've never
oh
hung out or seen him. You know how he treats a waitress or anything like that. I've never seen it, so I have no idea. I I do know that a guy I kind of like that I whatever. I my boxing feelings. I got a guy named Eric Barak. He's just a
yeah
journeyman in the heavyweights. He's fought every heavyweight there is. Basically, almost every fight he's ever had. He either A, didn't have a camp or a coach. You know, is this show up, make the money. You know, and somewhere down the line, I still respect these kinds of guys because I mean, if it wasn't for him, there's a bunch of heavyweights we wouldn't know.
yeah.
And
Well, he fought
it is,
He fought Rivas, didn't he?
yeah, he fought everybody
Yeah.
except Dylan Carmen. They were supposed to face each other at the Casino Royale. And then it was announced, and I got pictures of Dylan Carmen in the ring, shadow boxing, getting ready. Okay, just testing out the ring, seeing how big the ropes are and everything, right?
Yeah.
Then panic happened, and they couldn't find him. He was missing. Come to find out, the person looking for him the most was the drug test doctor.
Oh shit! This is this situation. I've heard this.
So when they found him putting quarters into one of the machines somewhere in the casino, and they brought him back in, he had a stomach issue, and the fight had to be canceled.
Hmm. Interesting.
And he never had to take his drug test after all because the fight was canceled because of his stomach issues.
That's very interesting.
Now, the reason that kills me is I know for a fact that that was the one fucking time this guy got an actual camp. Barack had a coach. He did fucking 2 months of the craziest training he ever did in his life. He wanted to go out and go out looking good.
Yeah.
Dylan Carmen robbed him of that. You know, like he didn't give a fuck. He would have came in there and it would have been Adam Braywood style. You understand? Whoever gets to their gun first.
Yeah.
But at least give the guy the fucking chance. Because had he won, he would have got the matchup against Big Ray.
Yep.
You understand? And that's technically a fight that more or less made Carmen a star. So I don't know. You know, I'm a little bitter about that, but I mean, he's doomed anyway. He's doomed.
Well, I have a mutual friend with Eric Barak, and that's MG Ring Promotions, who actually signed him. And they've touted Eric Barak as one the scariest heavyweight in Canada. Now, I had a conversation with a person who I think is the scariest heavyweight in Canada, and he's very interested in figuring out who actually is.
That would be amazing. I'm really hoping everything works out for that to happen.
Well, the boogeyman comes, you never know what's going to happen. So
we got to figure out something here, man. We got to figure out something. Fuck, that'd be a good fight.
Oh
as
yeah,
fuck as it sounds, horrible. It's not. It's all throwing all my boxing knowledge aside. It's a good fight.
It's fun. It's
yeah.
It's
and the best
fun.
part is they're similar characters.
Yeah, I think Adam's got some size on him 100%. I don't think Eric Barak's he might be a little bit vertically challenged for the heavyweight division.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's always been, but you know, he throws you one of those James Toney from the fucking ankles.
He's huge.
He's put dudes out, and like you know, on the street, he's a doorman by profession.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's had years of pushing people around, so to speak.
It's a fun fight. It's gangster versus gangster. Like we're gonna figure out who the scariest guy in Canada is at this point, and it's fun. Eric Barak's 8-4, I believe.
Yeah, well, listen, and like I said, the guy's had nothing but issues, and the one time he got his shit together and he got some money, and he was able to save up some money and pay for an actual coach and pay a gym membership and you know just be on top of everything and diet, everything. He was on top of it. He was like, you know, like I remember seeing him. He was like wearing new clothes and shit. He was feeling good. You know what I mean? And it fucking broke his heart, man.
Well, Eric Barak, if you listen to this show, I'll give you a surefire 100% guarantee he'll show up.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want it, just ask.
Well, you know what? How about this, right? Let's put out another personal message to Barak.
Okay.
Be ready, because Simon Keane is facing Dylan Carmen. And who knows what kind of things Dylan Carmen will find himself lost doing in Quebec City. Maybe he'll just get lost. Maybe he'll drive to Montreal by mistake, thinking that's where the fight was. So, you know, Barak, be ready. Dylan Carmen's no-showed before.
Hey, Eric, bring your no-foul protector, bring your shorts, bring your coach to the fight. I'll buy your ticket because you never know. Have your medicals up to date.
Yeah, I think that's all he has to do right now. last time I spoke to him, he has to. It's getting trickier and trickier for him, and he's getting older. So
what's he, 43?
Yeah, he doesn't look it, to be honest, right? Because I mean, he kept himself in relative good shape. You know what I mean? He wasn't. He never full blown went slob.
Yeah.
You know, pretty sure he's not married or anything. So I guess he's got to, stay good looking for the ladies, so to speak. So
He's big, man. I seen a picture of him recently. He's huge.
yeah, no, listen, like I said, if all I wanted for this guy, haven't seen him fight over the years, right?
Mhm.
Haven't been to shows that he like. I still have to thank him for showing up and putting in work. You get what I'm saying? So haven't seen all of that. All I ever wanted for the guy was to have a decent camp. You know what I mean? I know it sounds retarded, but if he could have a decent camp and have a showing he feels proud of, win or lose, it'll be good. You get what I'm saying?
Wow, we went into a lot of fucking people in this little bit over a half an hour, 40 minutes. We've gone from Canelo Alvarez to that's the right name. Yeah, triple. I'm having brain farts today, like it's crazy. It's like I got punched in the face yesterday, which I did. Um, Triple G, Spike O'Sullivan, David Lemieux, Eric Barak, Dylan Carmen, Simon Keene. Who else do we talk about?
Chocolatito.
Chocolatito, Danny Garcia, his fucking crazy dad. Like, it's always great having you on, Manny. And I'm gonna start getting you on a little bit more often because it seems when we tend to team up a little bit, your stuff goes up and my stuff goes up at the same time, which I like.
Okay.
Like I'm a numbers guy. I like to watch numbers.
You know what? A couple years ago, I stopped myself from doing that.
I like to watch them because I like to know if there's something that I'm talking about is a waste of time.
Well, you see, that would never occur to me.
No, I like to. I don't like to.
If I'm talking about it, it's because I want to be fucking talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
I just like to talk about shit. So if I'm talking about something that somebody doesn't want to hear, I'll stop talking. I don't care. I've had really good luck with boxing.
Well, I mean, this is basically the only thing you can get me to talk about, like, and be long-winded about.
Yeah, it's
There's
good.
not, there's not many other subjects that you'll find me be able to give you half an hour on. You know what I mean? It's just this is the thing. Like every ex-girlfriend that never liked boxing got their ears chewed off. You know, I'm the type of guy that if I'm at a bus stop and we're waiting there long enough, I'll look at the guy next to me and like Canelo or Triple G.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's part of my daily routine. It's what I do all day, every day. I'm editing boxing pictures now. I have to finish editing my video for boxing stuff. It's everything's fight related. So
When I get to go to different places and go cover fights, it's always interesting to me the people that come up and say, "You're fucking Tanner from the Final Shot podcast." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, cool, man." It shocks me.
yeah, no, it's happened to me a couple times. Maybe not as many as you, but the few times that it has happened, yeah, it was very cool. You know what I mean? Like I remember the first time somebody asked to take a picture with me.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And like, dude, like tagged me in the Instagram post and everything, and I was like, okay, all right. I get a lot of, I get most of my love, oddly enough, when I do shows though,
Yeah.
because I'm a wanderer. Even though they give me a spot, I wander. You know, they'll find me. I'll be in a locker room. They're like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, I'm leaving." You know what I mean? But I'm everywhere, and I even walk the rows of, like, let's say it's the Bell Center. I'll go up and down the rows. Uh, because I'm looking for boxers,
Yeah.
right? So it's like I'll find so and so who's not signed yet, who's 7-0, and I'll hey, and I'll get a picture of him, right? That's like one of my goals is to get that done. Like I love putting up an album of fighters watching fights.
Yeah.
And then the other reason I do that, and this is more recently, right? But I get like, Manny!
Yeah.
You turn around, you wave off into the distance, you know, because it's fucking, 10,000 people in the place or whatnot. I have no idea who just yelled my name, but it's like, turn around and wave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get a lot of that.
I get to meet a lot of interesting people. So when I was in Edmonton, I got to meet a gentleman by the name of Johnny Devison,
Okay.
who was our Canadian champion in 1959.
I believe he fought in a war as well or something. Like he's a vet, right?
He's 83, man. He's old as shit.
Yeah, he's a vet.
Yeah.
He's a former vet as well. So most of these Canadian champs, by the way, from like pre-50s era, pre-60s era, all fucking war veterans.
Oh, yeah.
So on top of being tough as shit, they're like fucking concrete tough. It doesn't even make sense.
So I didn't know who he was when I first seen him. So he rolled up to weigh-ins and he's wearing a full blue Adidas tracksuit. And I was like, that's badass, man. You're 109 and you're wearing a full Adidas tracksuit. Like, that's fucking cool. Because my wife bought me Adidas pants for my birthday. And I said, oh shit, I'm going to get the jacket. I want a matching. And she's like, fuck that. You're not going out in public like that. So then 4 days later, I go to Edmonton. I run into this old dude that's got this tracksuit on. So immediately I run up to him like, you're a bad motherfucker. And then he tells me who he is. And then he tells me where he's from. He's only 2 hours away from me. He's there cornering a gentleman by the name of Kai Sabo,
Okay.
who ruined the hometown kids' night that night.
Yeah.
So I got to make some connections, and now I've set up sparring at their gym. I'm gonna go up and spar their guys, and it's really cool the way things turn out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's all kinds. I've got all kinds of really cool little moments in boxing that like turned out to be even cooler than I thought. You know what I mean? My biggest thing, I'll give you an example. When Eve Ulysses lost that fight to Claggett, and I made the video, right?
Yeah.
Camilla Stefan introduced me to Peter Nelson as the guy that made the video.
Oh.
Peter Nelson's the head of HBO Sports. You know what I mean? This is like the guy that decides what fights we get when we get them.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, really good video. I saw it. Camille sent it to me like 3 times. I was like, and I had a conversation with him. It wasn't like we're best friends now or anything. I'm not going to visit him or anything. But to get recognition, and that's technically what you're getting right now. You know what I mean? Because he saw your, this is the beauty of boxing. If you are for real, like Peter Nelson saw I was for real.
Yeah.
So he engaged me in conversation. There's 1,000 other people that walk up to him and he's like, hey, nice to meet you. And he, fucks off.
Yeah.
But in the boxing world, when we find another person who's like us, who's part of the brotherhood and sisterhood, I guess, like automatically it's like, yeah, why don't you come by my gym? Why don't you come see this? Or, you know what I mean? Like right away. It happens a lot. I really love it when like even opponents, like they're like, man, I'd like to come by your gym, and you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's under the carpet. They're never gonna fight each other again, but he wants to improve and he wants to do what you're doing. There's like there's a mutual respect thing going on.
Yeah.
That you don't find in the rest of the world so easily.
Well, you and I met through that video that you made with the Ulysses and Claggett fight.
Okay.
Because
I thought it was the boogeyman.
no, we met through that video. My first interaction with you was my video response.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, nobody's going to respond to this guy. I was like, fuck it. I'll just go fuck with him a little bit, see what happens. And it was good, though. You're respectful. And
Yeah.
I figured you'd come back at me like a douchebag, and then it would be on like Donkey Kong. But you didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, well, man, he's fucking cool. Then we're going to just talk on the podcast and talk shit about other people now.
Well, here's the truth, right? I got nothing against Claggett.
No,
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? That fight, that day, I said what I said, and I was going to stick to it. I wasn't going to take it back because a boxer called me out.
Yeah.
Or because, you know what I mean? I said it. You know what I mean? And to the point where I made a video about it. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to double stamp that shit. So, no, I mean, you could have came at me different, too.
I
You know what I
could
mean?
have,
So
yeah.
yeah, exactly. So part of it's you as well. You know what I mean? But it wasn't just the recognition or anything. It's just, in this sport, especially in this sport, it could be very easy for me to be a pretender and to just be on Eve Ulysses' ball sack and have made a video,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like when you put me on, you kind of realize, oh, okay, I'm backing up my points kind of right, and maybe
Oh,
Steve did lose that fight.
I don't think he did. I thought I made my point pretty clear in my video. But I did have Steve Claggett on, and
Yeah.
he wants to rematch with Ulysses also, so maybe HBO can put that fucker together.
Hey, you want to know what'll make a star out of a Canadian boxer? Steve Claggett versus Eve Ulysses on HBO.
Somebody's getting the star. Uh,
Yeah,
who knows?
and like straight up.
Who maybe both of them? Who knows?
Yeah, it could be a fucking Gaddy Ward kind of situation where like everyone just loves everyone type thing. You know what I mean? Look, if this fight would have happened in your neck of the woods and we got the decision we got, I don't think it would have held up. I think they would have protested it and everything. Like the situation was perfect for Claggett. It was perfect. He came here and he fucked shit up. I got to give it to him. I can't. The decision's the decision. It's on BoxRec. It's there forever.
Yeah.
I can't take it from him. However, it's not what I thought was going down, and it's not what I thought was supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Here's what happened is Canadians and everybody that watched the fight seen a great fight. Both guys came to fight. It was not boring. Neither one of those guys is in a boring fight ever.
Back and forth the
Yeah.
whole time. It was 12 rounds of 10 rounds.
Yeah,
10
10
rounds?
rounds.
I don't remember anymore. But it was like the whole thing was back and forth the whole time.
It was great.
If Eve would have made a mistake or Claggett would have made a mistake, it could have very easily been a clearer decision. But both guys were so on point and careful. It's a tough fight to score nonetheless.
I still go back and watch it because I learned things from it.
Yeah, because it's tricky as a fucking, like I don't go back and watch it now because I believe I watched it over 10 or 12 times,
Yeah.
and then editing it and cutting it together and then looking for specific parts and trying to explain my point and everything. I'm done watching it, but no, I constantly saw other stuff, and
Yeah.
I was just like, it would have been unending for me. You know what I mean? Because the truth is, I was real close to making a Claggett version of that tape,
Oh.
and I
Okay.
could have. And the reason I didn't is because I feel like it would have murkied up my point.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It would have made me explaining myself more difficult. But you know what? It might be something I'll do in the future. If ever they get the rematch, maybe I'll do it for him as a gesture of kindness.
See, I always find it interesting when a guy can contradict himself. I don't think it's a bad thing ever. Like you did a Ulysses version and then you do a Claggett version, and then hey, we all get to decide who the fuck we want to win.
Yeah, except I was fucking livid.
I know you were
You
pissed.
know, I was livid because I knew what was on the back end for Ulysses on this.
Yeah.
Like the reason we're still waiting on HBO is because of that fucking fight.
Yeah.
So, Ulysses' life would have changed. Shit would have been a little easier for him to pull off and whatnot. So, I was livid, and like I said, I saw it one way, and then when I watched it and watched it and watched it, I kept seeing it the same way. So I
No.
had to do what I did.
Does Ulysses speak English?
Yeah,
Good?
very good.
Okay, I'd love to talk to him.
Like, know what show I think he'd be perfect for? And I'm not a huge fan of this, but you know what Up Up Down Down is?
No.
Okay, it's a wrestler. It's a black wrestler.
Okay.
He's into video games.
Okay.
He's part of the WWE, but what he does is he does live versions of him playing video games against other people.
Up, up, down, down.
Yeah, something Woods. I forget the guy's name. But like, I would love to get Eve Ulysses on that show because Eve Ulysses would
Xavier
mop.
Woods?
Yeah, that's who it is.
Tiny little black guy?
Yeah,
Okay, I've seen clips of it.
he's played Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse is another video game junkie.
Yeah.
So like Eve Ulysses is a video game junkie. Like he's a paintball guy. He's one of those guys. He likes being active. He likes games. He's like NBA 2K2. He can like whatever. He kills
Jeez.
everybody on everything.
That's wild.
And he's the type to shit talk and whatnot
That's
on a
why I
video
want to
game.
talk to him because he'll talk shit.
Well, no, I was saying in the video game format. I think in the boxing realm, he's going to be very respectful.
No, it's fine. He's got a personality on him. I like it.
Yeah, you gotta get him to play Counter Strike or something against you or Half Life or whatever. I don't know all my games right now, but
I don't
maybe
play
play
any
him in a
games,
game.
so
Yeah, okay.
if they had like a boxing game, I would play that. Or I guess I could play UFC with him if you wanted to. I'll
You know
do
what?
that.
That's an idea. That's an idea for you in a future show. Maybe you could play people on like old fight night games.
Could imagine if we busted out like the old fucking Mike Tyson punch out.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
You would just have to find like I would have to go out and get a Nintendo and find Punch Out, and then you would have to find it.
I think I have it. I bet you I have it in
There's
the
a way.
there's
There's a way to do this. There's
there's
a way to do this. We
one
we could
hundred
figure it
percent.
out.
100% there's a way to do it. All right, Manny. My kid's home from school. I got to go get her to do her shit. So we're going to sign this off. This went way longer than I even anticipated, like always it does with you. But, guys, Manny Montreal, Manny MTL, wherever the fuck you want to find him, that's where you find him. Make sure you go over to his YouTube channel and subscribe. It's Manny Montreal on YouTube, right?
Yep.
Manny Montreal. All right, Manny. I'm out of here. I gotta go yell at my kid because I can hear him making a whole shit ton of noise and a mess out there. But it's always a pleasure talking to you. And I'm gonna give you a message here in the next couple of weeks, and we're gonna figure out something with this Mike Tyson punch out. I think.
Yeah, not a bad idea, but all right. Talk to you soon, man.
All right,
Thanks for
brother.
having me on.
No problem. Peace.